Hello, there is a knowledge gap between autobiographical memories for older and younger individuals. So, for this presentation, I decided to focus on how age will impact autobiographical memory. And my name is Jessica Rodriguez.
Both the articles Differences in the Context and Coherence of Autobiographical Memories Between Younger and Older Adults, Insight from Text Analysis, and Stories of the Young and Old, Personal Continuity and Narrative Identity, both address this age difference and its effect on memory. So for the first article, Sheldon and their colleagues explored the age difference for autobiographical memories with content diversity and narrative coherence. They hypothesized that older adults represent memories with a wide array of content topics and recall memories with a distinct narrative style compared to younger adults. To test this, Sheldon conducted an interview where younger adults were asked to recall and describe specific single events from childhood, teenage years, and the most recent year, while older adults described from childhood, teenage years, early adulthood, middle adulthood, and the most recent year. Then both age groups' descriptions were transcribed and scored for internal and external context. Also, two forms of natural language processing techniques were used to analyze their recall of memories. NLP is a type of AI that allows computers to understand and interpret human language. So topic modeling was used to analyze the overall content usage in each memory, while internal similarly calculates the coherence of memory narratives. Researchers focused on the variables age group and the time period from which the memory was recalled. From this, Sheldon measured multiple aspects. The first is content diversity. With this, they calculated the maximum topic score, which indicates how focused or diverse the content topics are in the patient's memory. Also, the entropy score reflects the randomness of the content topics. Narrative coherence was measured with the internal similarity score, which measures the coherence of retelling their stories, with lower scores indicating more frequent shifts in context and less chronological coherence. And lastly, details were looked at. Internal details were specific and event-related. External details were general or not specific to the event. These dependent variables were analyzed to see how they varied based on the independent variables of age groups and memory time period. What the researchers found for content diversity is older adults demonstrated greater content diversity when recalling autobiographical memories compared to younger adults. As you can see in the graph below, older adults had lower maximum topic scores shown on the left side and a higher entropy score shown on the right side. This indicates that older adults' memories grew from a greater variety of topics. There was also no significant effect of memory time period on content diversity, meaning that content diversity was consistent across different life stages. For the narrative coherence, researchers found that older adults had a lower similarity scores. This is shown on the graph. This suggests that their narratives consisted more shifts in context and were less chronologically organized. Older memories, like from childhood, were described with higher internal similarity scores, indicating greater cognitive and logical coherence compared to memories from more recent times. For the episodic details, older adults generated more specific internal details. Younger adults had a higher context focus related to more internal details. And the narrative coherence measures did not significantly relate to the generation of internal or external details for either age group. So researchers concluded that their data was well supported by their hypothesis. Other adults represented memories with a wider array of content topics and recalled with a distant narrative style. Overall, the discussion suggests that while compensation strategies are useful, there are potential drawbacks, such as increased susceptibility of false memories. Overall, this perspective adds depth to the understanding of age-related memory changes. For the second article, McLeod's goal is to investigate how different age groups develop and express their narrative identity. Narrative identity is how people understand and construct their personal story based on past events. There are two hypotheses. First is the older group would be more likely to have exclamatory connections representing stability. The younger group would be more likely to have changed connections and report more recent memories for the younger group. The second hypothesis is, in comparison with the younger group, the older group would be more likely to have event connections and themes in their narratives. To test this, McLean conducted 1 to 2 hour interviews where participants were asked to recall and describe 3 life-defining memories: vivid, emotional, personally important. Then they were asked to describe each memory. McLean focused on the age group younger and older participants, an age in which impacted narrative, identity, and autobiographical reasoning. McLean measured self-event connections, whether these connections represent stability or change, level of reflective processing, the depth of thought participants reported engaging in when reflecting their memories, and event-event connections, how one event led to another. Also, themes, the presence or absence of essential theme running through the 3 self-defining memories. These dependent variables were used to access differences in how younger and older participants, as well as males and females, construct their narrative identities. The results in the age differences showed for self-event connections, there is no significant difference between the younger and older groups. The types of self-event connections were exclamatory connections, where the older group has significantly more exclamatory connections than the younger group, which suggests a greater focus on stability. And also, female participants had more changed connections than males, reflecting on their focus of self-growth. The results for reflective processing showed no significant difference between the younger and older groups. However, for the older groups, higher levels of reflective processing was associated with more changed connections. Also, the older group had a higher number of event connections compared to the younger group, but it was only seen within one trend. It was not consistent. Older participants were more likely to have a central theme running through their self-defining memories compared to the younger participants. For the gender differences, self-event connections, exclamatory, male participants had more exclamatory connections than females, and female participants had more changed connections than males. For reflective processing, females scored higher in reflective processing, and they were also more likely to report a central theme in their narratives compared to males. The differences between males and female participants in exclamatory and change connections were more pronounced in the older age group. Older males showed a stronger preference for stability, while older men were more focused on change. Overall, this research allows readers to understand more about episodic memories that we're experiencing and what will occur when we age. Overall, older adults have stability in their recall memories due to their sense of self, as well as generate more specific internal details and narrative styles when retelling experiences. This aligns with established theories of cognitive aging and provides new insights into how older adults may adapt to episodic memory difficulties by relying on their broader sense of base. Overall, both articles address multiple themes. For younger adults, they focus on change and transition, with recent events impacting their narrative identity. They are still conducting their life stories and exploring different aspects of their identity. For older adults, they emphasize stability and share a story with theme, suggesting a more integrated and resolved sense of self. They seem to be using narrative identity to maintain a coherent and continuous self-concept. And also, women generally showed more complex and reflective narrative identities, while men focused more on stability. Overall, this highlights how recalling memories evolve differently across the lifespan, influenced by age and gender, and how life stories serve varying psychological functions at different stages of life. And these are my references used for this project. Thank you.